Good morning, good morning. I love the colorist conversations that I hear. The only thing I don't like is hearing people that haven't experienced it or don't think it exists give an unbiased opinion about it, or feel like or throw themselves in it. I don't like that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you've never experienced it, or if you're not a colorist, the best thing that you can do is just listen and learn. It doesn't make sense for you to try to defend the indefensible. I've said that many times, but I'll say it again. True story. Now, I've spoken about colorism, and I've said that I really didn't really experience that from where I'm from, because everyone is celebrated. When I was coming up, it's a little different now because of social media and because of our generation now have really brought into it. But I'm gonna give you 3 true stories that happened to me dealing with colorism, and they were all from loved ones. One day my brother was here from out of town, and he has my brother has a lot of kids and his 3 daughters was at my house while he was in town. We was all having a conversation. Now his the oldest daughter is, my brother is of lighter, he's light skinned complected, and so his oldest daughter is light like him. His 2 younger daughters are darker. They're not as dark as me, but they they're kind of on the borderline. Okay, they're caramel, say that. So I was speaking to them, and I asked them, do y'all experience colorism at your school? Now we're talking about one was a senior, the other was a junior. I'm sorry, a junior or a sophomore and a senior. So I'm asking them about colorism, and where they live and go to school at, it's predominantly it's a mixture, but predominantly white. And they didn't even know what that was. They like, well, what's that? So I'm like, wait, hold up. Y'all don't know what that is? Not to be funny, but kind of shocked. Like, what do you mean, what is that? So I asked, I explained to them the definition of it. Then they said, oh yeah, a little bit. The guys in our school, they prefer the Latino women and lighter complexion women. Now, my brother's middle daughter, who again was a senior, had a baby, but she had a baby by a Latino guy, and so her baby is mixed. So at the time when I say when his youngest daughter says, yeah, the guys do prefer lighter skinned women over darker skinned women in my school, but it's whatever. She didn't really care. At that time, my brother literally holds up his grandbaby, which I said is mixed, and said, oh, well, my baby ain't gonna have to go through none of that, because my baby is beautiful. I cut him off. I said, what the fuck do that mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Why would you say that? And I said, see, you are the problem. And I never even thought that he was like that, because I'm dark skinned, me and my little sister, which let me correct that. These are my first cousins. However, we were raised together, so we really acknowledge each other as sisters and brothers. So when I am saying my little sister and my little brother, I really mean my cousin. So I do want to correct that, but I'm so used to saying it because that's how we, refer to each other, because that's how close we are. So anyway, me and my little sister are dark skinned. My little brother is the only light-skinned one, which he took after my mother. His mother, my grandmother's oldest daughter. She was light-skinned, and my mother is dark-skinned. So my little brother took after his mother's complexion. Him and his sister, real sister, have the same mother and father. His sister is dark-skinned after her father, and he's light-skinned. So out of all of us, my grandmother's grandkids, it's 5 of us. All 4 of us are darker complected, but he's the only light-skinned one. However, we've never ever made colorist jokes or anything like that in my family because we are all a mixed bag of nuts. So that was never a thing. So fast forward to that day in my living room when he holds his granddaughter up and say, well, she's never gonna go through that. That hurt my feelings, and I'm like, you're the problem. You just ignored that your darker complected daughters have experienced colorism, and you literally just stoked that by saying, well, my light-skinned granddaughter ain't gonna have to worry about that. It's the ignorance for me. So that was very telling. Let me tell you another story. I used to date this guy, and he was very nice to me. We had never, at that point, I hadn't even had any sexual encounter in my life. So he was just a boy that liked me, and we called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. At the time, he had a job. He worked at Burger King, and I was in middle school, like 8th grade. Never forget. So he worked at Burger King, and every night when he got off of work, he would come by my block and literally bring me either something to eat or one of those plush toys. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, Burger King used to give those plush little soft animals with every meal, and he would bring me one every day, every night. So I had another friend that was very, very light-skinned, her and her sister, her older sister. Now, her older sister was about a good 4 years older than us. So she was an older girl. So one day she's seen it a couple of times. She's seen him coming to see me and stuff like that. She would be outside and she would see him passing. And so she made the remark one day as saying, oh my God, y'all are so cute. He really like you. He do so many nice things for you. And I was like, thank you. That was a red flag that I didn't realize at the time. But, okay. So, we're going on with our little relationship. It's real cute. It's very innocent, but cute. One day, I didn't go to school. And, she came to my house after school. Because she's used to him walking. I forgot, I left that part out. He used to walk me home from school as well. So she's used to seeing us together every day. So this particular day, I stayed home from school. So I would say about 4 something, right? Briefly after school, and everybody walks home or whatever, I get a knock at my door, and it's the older sister. And she like, could you come outside for a minute? I need to talk to you. I'm like, oh, okay, what's up? She like, old boy tried to talk to me today. And I'm like, what? She was like, yeah, he tried to talk to me. And I'm like, really? How did that happen? She said, well, I was walking down the street, and he hollered at me and told me I was cute and this and third, whatever she said. All the particulars I can't remember. So I'm like, oh wow, damn, that's fucked up. Okay. So in my mind, like, I can't wait to get in the house and call this motherfucker. Like, what? You know? But, you know, I played it cool with her. Like, all right, you know, thanks for telling me, sis, you know? And she was like, look, I mean, it is what it is, you know? Look at me. True story. She said this shit out of mouth. She said, look at me. Like, and I'm like, what about you? What does that mean? And she said, well, you know, I'm light-skinned. Like, look, let me break it down to you like this. Now, this is 8th grade, first encounter I ever had with that word. I'm bringing it back full circle because I started to remember. Now, I didn't have a definition for it, but I know that this happened. But now that I do, I know that this was colorism. So she says, it is what it is. You know, like, look, let me put it to you this way. If me and you was walking down the street, guys is going to automatically talk to me before they talk to you because of my complexion. This is just the world we live in. And y'all, this was in the late 80s, okay? When she said that to me, honestly, it went through one ear and out the other, but I never forgot it. But I was just like, I don't know that to be true. Because again, where I'm from, that wasn't a thing. I seen it. It reared its ugly head at times, but it wasn't the norm, you know? So when it happened, it just was one of them things like, bitch, please, you know? So when she said that to me, I'm like, damn, really? So she literally wanted what I had and used her color, her complexion to try to take it. That's how I looked at it. Because after I approached him on it, he literally said, that's not how that happened. She was trying to talk to me. She kept saying, when you gonna get me something? When you gonna bring me something? So yeah, that's how that. So mixed with a little bit of jealousy, it was some colorism, because she tried to gaslight me to think, you know, oh, they're gonna, you know, prefer her over me. But really, it was you being jealous of me and what I had, and you thought you deserved it more. Okay? Now, let's go fast forward to what happened recently. Now, I've been friends with this person since we was 5 years old. Now, we've had our good times and bad times. We done fought like cats and dogs, but we always, in my eyes, had a love for each other because we are family. My son is her family, you know what I'm saying? So it's a deeper, you know, bond, you know? However, about a month ago, I went to her house to just chill out, you know, when sometimes, you know, I don't have nothing to do, because her house is like literally the hangout. Everybody always come through there. There's always a whole boatload of motherfuckers over there. So when I'm bored or whatever, it's not often, because I don't really have time for that. I'd rather be in my own clean, beautiful house. So, you know, but sometimes, you know, I be feeling myself. I get to sipping on some shit and I want to be outside. So I'll go to her house and chill. This particular night, I go to her house and we drinking, sipping, talking shit, right? So she brings up, yeah, because you be on some fuck shit, just like that time when me and you was going to some club and all them niggas tried to talk to me, and you said you gonna turn around and say, what? Y'all don't fuck with dark-skinned bitches? And I was like, what the fuck? And I never could understand that. That's some hating ass shit. It was my fucking time. It was my time. Like, you have your time, but this was my time. And I feel like you shouldn't have said shit. So I turned around to her and I said, sis, that wasn't for you. That was for them. Now, I have a habit of holding myself accountable too much to where I can let a motherfucker get over on me. So now, that's why I coined that phrase, be quick to listen and slow to speak, because a lot of times now that I know myself so good, I gotta analyze shit before I respond, because if I just lash out, I make things worse. Okay, so she says that to me, and I'm saying to her, that wasn't for you, that was for them. Why are you so offended? Because I feel like when you have your time, it's your time. So I felt like that was my time, and I felt like you fucked it up. I said, but did I? Because did it stop anything? No. Okay, so what did I do to you? I'm still trying to figure that out. I didn't never say I'm mad at you because, no, it wasn't none of that. None of my issue was with you. It was with those guys. So I approached those guys. Now, this was literally, guys, I'm not lying, this was almost 30 years ago. We were young when this happened, okay? And I honestly didn't remember it until she started talking about it. But I see that that day affected her till this day. And my point is, why? And why did you have to consistently say it was my time? You have your time. I've never, ever, since we've ever been friends, thought about when my time was and when your time was, because we both used to get it when we got it. It wasn't no one getting it more than the other. We both got it. But I seen something that was a red flag for me. They was doing a lot of catcalling, like red bone, and this and third, that. So I asked the question to them, but you got offended. So we going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this shit flies out her fucking mouth. Yeah, cause you dark-skinned bitches always got a fucking problem with me. Whoa, bitch. I ain't never had a problem with your motherfucking complexion. So who the fuck are you talking about? But it's what she said that raised the last fucking flag for me. Now, here it is. Yo, when I tell you the neighborhood that I grew up in, everybody was of fair complexion. They was damn near white. And the reason why is because my mother moved us out of Newark into East Orange. And back then, East Orange was predominantly white. Everyone owned homes. It was just, you had to be of upper echelon to live in East Orange. And my mother was the first black person with children. I'm sorry, I'll take that back. She wasn't the first black person to move into the neighborhood, but she was the first black woman with children to move into the neighborhood we moved into. So when I was outside, all my friends that I grew up with were light, damn near white, half white, half Mexican, whatever. They was all fair skinned. They all could pass for white, okay? So here come my black dark ass coming into the fold. But what fucked it up for them was that when I came around, I got all the boys. The boys, they loved me. And so these women couldn't never understand that shit. It didn't make sense to them. Hence, the conversation I had with one of my friend's older sister. Yes, she was from that neighborhood. And then the conversation I got from yet another girl that I grew up with that was from that neighborhood, all lighter skin complexion. So when you say some shit like that to me, do we got a problem with you, sis, or do you got a problem with us? Because for you to make a blanket ass statement like that to somebody that's supposed to be your motherfucking friend, your sis, your best friend, was very problematic to me. And I said that to her. I said, that's very problematic to me. I said, I don't know if you even realize that you're a colorist. And then I had to give her examples. Do you remember, because it was another friend of ours there that was light skinned too, but she understood because she wasn't in denial about it. I said, do you remember all the times when my mother used to take us out and how everybody would come to walk up to us because we always looked cute because our mothers worked. So, you know, she made sure we always looked very nice. We always had the nice, whatever was in, we had it. But do you remember how many countless times strangers would literally walk up to all of us and point you out of the group? Because it would be my family always taking her places. And she was half white, so she was the lighter complexion. And no matter where we went, they would spot her out and literally say how beautiful she was, how pretty she was, never minding anybody else that was with her. And we all, it used to be like a good 3 to 4 of us. But people would single her out to say how pretty she was. And I asked her this, do you remember that? And she said, yeah. I said, so don't act like this shit don't happen. And don't act like I wasn't within my rights to question something I seen that was problematic for me. Not to mention, let's not forget, your aunt, lighter complexion, thought she was white, called me darky all the time. So, yes, I've experienced it, but for the life of me, y'all, it didn't affect me coming up because on my side, I always had compliments. On my side, my family always uplifted our complexion. It was never a thing. So me dealing with it on the outside it didn't really bother me. But now that I'm older and the shit has resurfaced and it kind of never went away, it was just hidden. But now that this new generation and with this technology and everything is in your face to the utmost, and it has now resurfaced harder than ever, I start to reflect back when I was a child and the little things that I did experience. What I will say is this: colorists definitely exist, but to my dark-skinned women, you gotta stand in your beauty. Do you know how many times my light-skinned friends, I used to literally watch them argue about who is darker? I'm darker than you. They all look white, but they used to literally argue about who had darker complexion. And I listened to all of them say how much they love dark-skinned people, men rather. They're colorists within their own. They won't even date light-skinned men. They don't find them attractive. They only like what did I say? Let me, because I think I fucked that up. The light-skinned girls that I know that I'm cool with are only attracted to dark-skinned men. They will say it out their mouth. And I literally had to break that shit down and make sure I was hearing clearly. And I said to them, so you mean if you seen a light-skinned guy that was attractive, you wouldn't give them the time of day only because they're light-skinned? And they all said yes. And this is true story. This shit happened in real life. It wasn't no movie I seen. This shit happened in my ex-friend's living room. And I said, that is the definition of colorist. And I'm sorry y'all don't know that. Me, I don't prefer no complexion. It's who I'm attracted to. But for you to say that, you have a preference based on what skin complexion they are. And let me tell you something else. A lot of these women, and I'm not saying all, so I do not want everyone to be offended, because I do not think all light-skinned women are colorists. But there is a healthy amount that are. And I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't fucking experience this shit with my own body. There are a lot of light-skinned women that literally think they are better than. And when you are brown skin or darker complected and you get what they think they should be getting, they become jealous. And they try to play on your complexion. Don't forget that. I need y'all to recognize that. It's called hating. They hate you because they ain't you. They hate you because they know how beautiful you really are. They know how that skin shine. They know how that skin, that complexion, it breathes out so much confidence that they don't have. My body type was always an issue for these bitches because they didn't have it. That my talent was always an issue for these bitches because they didn't have it. My desirability, even though I was dark skinned, was always an issue for these bitches because they didn't have it. It's still today an issue for these bitches because they don't have it. So this is why when we talk about this shit, I ain't ragging on nobody because of their complexion. I'm telling you the experiences I've had. I have never ever judged a woman based on her complexion, whether or not she was worthy or not. But I have been judged many a time because of mine. Guys, have a great day. And make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Peace.